Welcome everybody to Games Cast by PanderNyrl. If you wish to see more commented games, please follow my YouTube and Twitch pages below. Welcome everyone to a ranked game here. On the blue team we see a Pantheon in the middle, Malphite up top, Mastery in the jungle, Varus, Leona bottom lane. For the red team we see a Diana in the top lane, looks like Brand mid, Skarner in the jungle with a Lulu Ezreal down bottom. This is a featured game on the North American server. Looks like Master Yi is running with Smite and Exhaust, a rather interesting combo, and should lead to some pretty strong ganks if he actually chooses to use them, especially since Leona can set up Master Yi and Varus so incredibly well. It's just pretty ridiculous how well Leona can set everybody up. Score is 0-0, and we are tied at 4,000 gold, just past the 3-minute mark as we enter this featured game. Looks like Diana is taking some heavy damage up top, but will be just okay as Master Yi does jump in there. Looks like Brand is taking some big damage, and Pantheon finishes him off. And this is why Pantheon is such a wonderful mid, especially if you get someone like Brand who can't do a whole lot to deal with the harass. Looks like Skarner is going to try and get in here, but Pantheon will be able to finish him off with a nice spear, and he does grab the double buffs, meaning it is a 2-0 score, and this Pantheon is off to an amazing start. Brand is only sitting at 3 CS, and I don't think you realize boots are a bad start in today's game. Pantheon did start off with the Crystalline Flask, and is going for the Manamura eventually, as that does just a ridiculous amount of damage. Malphite up top, starting with Cloth Armor, and to keep him very safe. Looks like Leona comes down here and does some decent damage to Lulu, but Varus is forced to flash away. And both of the parties down bottom are very low. Looks like Leona is coming back. Will she have her abilities off cooldown in time? Looks like just enough for Lulu to go down. But Varus is taken away, and Leona will go down as well, meaning a double kill for Ezreal for just the single kill on Varus. That is not a good trade, considering Ezreal is up over 10 CS at this point in time. Looks like Lulu has completed a Sight Stone. Diana going for the Crystalline Flask and the Doran's Ring. Looks like there's a fight going on here between Master Yi and Skarner. Master Yi should not be able to get away, but smartly Skarner realizes, hey, Pantheon's here, that's why we're still fighting. But here comes Lulu. Lulu should do a pretty good job of keeping people off of this Skarner. But it looks like, yes, Pantheon will possibly pick up a kill, but no, nice stun by Brand at the very edge, and the Ignite will finish off Master Yi. Pantheon is in pretty big trouble, but he will get the kill on someone first. Yes, he does get the kill onto Skarner, but Brand picks up a double kill, evening out the kill skull at 4-4. But the red team still comes out ahead with a 500 gold lead here, mostly thanks to the bottom lane just being ridiculously far ahead in CS for this point. 11 CS at the 5-minute mark. Looks like Diana is also up fairly heavily in CS, though Pantheon has picked up a Brutalizer. And I really fear for Brand at this point, having any chance in that mid lane, unless he goes for an armor item of some variety right off the bat. Malphite up top, starting with that Cloth Armor and Potions, is out of mana and is forced to go back. And it looks like Varus down bottom is catching up in CS a bit. Looks like Lulu and Ezreal might try something here. Lulu getting a nice bit of harassment on, but just out of range to finish that Glitter Lance. And there's not going to be a whole lot of action for the next few moments unless Pantheon decides to jump somewhere. He is just now level 6, and his jump is available, so we will have to watch him very closely, as his gank should be the deciding factor in this game. If they work, his team's going to snowball and win, and it looks like they are coming bottom, as Lulu takes a ton of damage from that Leona, but here comes Pantheon, and Pantheon lands a perfect ult, getting right on top of Lulu and finishing her off. That is only a kill on the support, but it also zones out Ezreal. It means Ezreal cannot do anything. Brand doing the smart thing and pushing the mid lane while all this is going on. Same thing with Skarner coming in. Master Yi is there to defend it though, but it means Pantheon will lose a fair bit of CS. Brand is coming in here, but he is spotted. The stun misses, and it looks like Brand will just have to back up as he misses several abilities. Diana up top is getting chased on the tower by Malphite. but the shield from Diana is just enough to keep him alive, and it will be a 1-for-1 trade up top. Down there, we do see Pantheon going down to Skarner, who did come in there for that fight. And the score is now back to 6-6, but the gold lead is still getting bigger for the red team, as they are just farming significantly better in all their lanes, with the exception of mid, which is down by 1 CS. And there will be a blue steal happening here, as I don't see any way for the blue team to actually get here. This Ezreal and Lulu lane should have a fairly decent advantage over the Varus Leona lane, unless Leona can land some pretty beautiful combos with her ultimate when she gets that in a few moments. They really need to take advantage of this laning stage. That's where Varus really does shine. He might go for a Hurricane and do some teamwork fighting, but I have not seen any Varus go for that yet, as most of them go for the ridiculous overpowered Black Cleaver. Looks like Leona's jumping in here on Ezreal, and it will get Ezreal pretty low. Exhaust is thrown on Ezreal, but the ultimate goes out. Ezreal does cleanse the stun from Leona, but here's Master Yi for an easy kill on this Ezreal. And it looks like Ezreal does go down to the red buff, and exhaust is thrown here on to Lulu, and Lulu will go down to his Master Yi gank. The exhaust from Master Yi being invaluable in picking up that second kill. And that's what I said. Master Yi's ganks are incredibly deadly when they have a mixture of CC. It looks like Malphite is going to be picked up top and pulled away. He is now level 6, but he does not have his ultimate, as he used that in the previous kill on Diana. And it looks like he will go down here just barely to the crescent sweep of Diana. Or crescent strike, excuse me. It looks like Varus is getting some nice free farm and has almost caught up to Ezreal. I'm not sure what he's going, but he does have a fair bit of gold to spend at this point in time. Yeah, almost 2,000. Skarner sitting on 1,000 gold. Looks like Bran went for the double Duran's Blade and a nice piece of cloth armor to keep him alive in lane. I really like that choice. Looks like Diana's going to be jumped on up top by Pantheon and Master Yi, and she does not have a good way out. She will flash over the wall, but Master Yi nicely timing his alpha strike so that it goes over the wall with her. And he will pick up this kill on Diana, unless Diana can get back to tower and pop her shield again. But she does do the right thing and just deal as much damage as she can to Master Yi, leaving him with about half life and not enough to really go back into the jungle for an extended period of time. It did burn Pantheon ult, which is a good thing, but it's not enough to justify that kill. Looks like Pantheon's taking some heavy damage down here, as Bran will finish him off. Nice use of the minions, waiting for several minions to be low and clearing them with his Pillar of Flame. Up top, it looks like Diana is teleporting in up here. Skarner does get on both of Malphite and Master Yi, but Diana does not get the reset on her ultimate, so Master Yi will be, so Malphite will go down here as well. Looks like Malphite does have his ultimate available if he chooses to use it. He does. But Diana will not have her ultimate reset available. Looks like Skarner is deciding to tower dive, but he does not have the health to tower dive alone. So Diana has come in with minions, and this should be a dead Malphite. Yes, it is, and they can't easily push this tower from this point. Looks like down bottom, just some damage was traded, and Leona's wisely comes in the second Ezreal leaves, while Lulu is still there. Right now, Varus is just going to push up this lane very quickly. He's opting for a BF sword, likely going for that Bloodthirster, which has been incredibly popular as of late. Ezreal looks like he might be going for a Phage after completing that Vampiric Scepter. Skarner has gone for the Spirit Stone. Has he upgraded that yet? No, just the standard Spirit Stone. He'll likely go for the tanky version, as he has gone with the Boots of Mobility. Diana has picked up her Sorcerer's Shoes along with double Duran's Rings and the Crystalline Flask. Looks like the blue team is going in for Dragon, or at least trying to bait it, but they do not fall for it, as there is a ward right in the bushes. It looks like Lulu is going to be jumped on by Pantheon, and Lulu just needs to back away, wisely deciding Ezreal's dead from a 3-man gank, and this Dragon is fairly free at the moment, assuming they want to take it. The score is 10-10 with a 2,000 gold lead for the red team, mostly accounting for that one tower and a bit of extra farming. I thought this Pantheon would have a good game, and while he's doing well in kills, he has not shut down this Brand the way he needs to. Brand is sitting at 4-1 at this point. and is just really in a ridiculous position. Skarner's coming in here. His ultimate is up, but he does not want to pursue. He does grab Brand, or does have Master Yi, but the Brand ultimate does a ton of damage, and the knockup by Lulu saving someone from being hit by the Pantheon pounce. And it looks like the blue team is not in shape to fight, as they will concede this turn rather nicely, but Diana does come in here and is stunned up, and we will get the kill on Varus, but taking her own life in the process. Looks like Lulu is still down here while Skarner is as well, and Skarner will get this kill on Master Yi, as Master Yi does not have a way to get out, but there comes Malphite behind to finish off Lulu, and they, red team, just got greedy, losing that kill lead and a slight gold advantage that they had. I really thought they'd be able to get Pantheon before, or Master Yi, before they died themselves, but apparently not. Looks like Master Yi has finished off his Wriggles Lantern and Zeal. Doing all that, Ezreal wisely went down bottom and pushed this bottom lane, grabbing the tower for himself. Looks like Lulu has picked up the Ruby Sightstone, opting up for a single gold per 10, well, no gold per 10 items this game. The Ruby Sightstone is like a gold per 10 item, as it does give free wards, which basically the gold per 10 items did before. Varus will be picking up a Bloodthirster any moment now. Leona has grabbed the Philosopher's Stone in addition to the Sightstone. Pantheon has completed a Brutalizer. Looks like he might be going for a Hex Drinker with a pickup of that non-magic mantle. Though he does, yes, he does pick that up along with the Doran's Blade. Let's see how far his Tear of the Goddess is. It's at a little over 250. And Skarner is going to come down here and attempt a gank, but he is spotted out by a ward at the Tribush and at Dragon. Brand is coming down as well, and there is no ward to see him. So if he does decide to pursue this red buff, he will be not seen. Looks like the red team is going to group up for Dragon, and there is no way the blue team can pursue this at the moment. Malphite ultimate is down, and there are 5 members of the red team here. Leona does try to go in and is forced to burn her flash away. She is still slowed, but the slow from Varus will push everybody away. Master Yi is taking a ton of damage from that Brand, as Brand has gone for the needlessly large draw. Looks like Brand does jump in here, but he pops his ultimate on 2 people, and that is a dead Malphite, along with a dead Pantheon. Looks like Master Yi is going to go down to the Skarner ultimate, and Malphite does get away at the very last second thanks to a well-timed flash. But that is a beautiful Brand ultimate, and there was nothing they could do. Diana broke the stun from Pantheon, and then Brand just ulted them for a ridiculous amount of AoE damage. Brand is an amazing character in this new metagame, as people aren't starting with boots, so he can easily land his skill shots. In addition to that, he is just overall a strong character that benefits from the fact that sustained damage APs aren't the only good ones. Varus misses his ultimate, and Brand capitalizes by chunking him down to below half health. Looks like Ezreal is going for the Bloodthirster as well. Not sure what he picked up that Ruby Crystal for, other than just a little bit of laning power. Deathfire Grasp has been completed on Diana. I really like that on her, as she has such great single target damage. Looks like Brand is going to be picked up by this Pantheon here, as he gets hit by the dead center of the ultimate and flashes to dodge the stun. Looks like Lulu is here, but will not get hit by the Leona, as the road team is forced to just back away at this point in time. And it looks like the blue team has evened up the kills again, but the score is completely one-sided in favor of the red team, as they are up 5,000 gold, mostly thanks to the towers and vastly superior farming abilities, especially of this Brand, Ezreal, and Diana. Each of them winning by at least 30 minions at the moment. And even the jungle is the only lane that's won in terms of CS. Lulu is picked up down in here, but Diana will come in here, and this will be several kills taken for her, as Malphite does try to get away with his ultimate, but Skarner will pull him in with his own. Meaning Ezreal does grab a kill with his ultimate as well during that fight, meaning a 3-for-1. And just killing the Lulu at this point is not very worth it, as she is worth very little gold, sitting at 0, 5, and 10. But doing her job extremely well this game, just harassing and throwing off her ultimate at the perfect time. Pantheon has completed his Mana Moon. And this will be a free Baron for the red team as it's going down extremely quick. It is sitting at a little over 2,000 health at this point. Master Yi is going to try and come in here and steal it, but does not get a chance as he is obliterated the second he enters that fight by a Brand ultimate and an Ezreal Q. And that was just being a desperate attempt. Nothing more than a desperate attempt to get this Baron as they realize they're pretty far behind. Because that last fight just went terribly for them. Pantheon with the Metamune is almost at halfway. I do not think he's going to be able to get it finished off. It looks like Skarner is going for the Aegis of the Legion. Lulu has picked up the Locket of the Iron Solari. Ezreal is picking up a Zeal, likely going for the Trinity Force next. Malphite is going for an AP build, picking up the double Duran's rings, and likely going for a Warden's Mail or something of the like with that cloth armor and sapphire crystal. Master Yi up top with Malphite is jumping on Diana. Diana should go down here, but she does do an amazing amount of single target damage. The exhaust preventing a lot of it, but no, she does do enough damage to kill Master Yi, and she is just way too strong at this point. But Pantheon is coming in. Will he be able to get there in time? No, Pantheon will not, as Malphite does go down. But Pantheon should be able to pick up this kill just barely with the last spear chuck. And that was a 2-for-1, considering it was a 2-for-1 fight, or 3-for-1 fight, excuse me. Looks like Malphite has completed the Glacial Shroud, and likely the Warden Mail to follow for a Frozen Heart. Brand has completed his Death Cap and Haunting Guise, meaning he is doing a ridiculous amount of damage in any of these fights. Looks like Age Legion has been picked up. Pantheon is grabbed by the Skarner ult. And it looks like another beautiful Brand off on the side, finishing off that Master Yi before he even gets in this fight. Leona will not go down here, but it doesn't matter. The red team is in a commanding 10,000 gold lead, despite only being up 5 kills. But the big story is 5 towers to 0. That's where the gold is coming from, is they've grabbed towers, barons, and dragons on the red team. And that makes a huge deal in these fights, as there is just there's not a real chance for them to do anything on the blue team. They're just all so far behind, and especially if you look at CS. Varus has caught up to Ezreal, but still. Malphite's down 50 CS, Pantheon's down 40, Master Yi's down 10, and even Lulu's up 15 CS. And that's just better lane mechanics. Looks like Master Yi is going to try and jump here on Diana, but Diana wisely backs away, realizing Master Yi had a ton of help coming for him. But Diana is going to come back in here, and will Diana actually engage? No, she sees Malphite and decides against it. Looks like Lulu has picked up the Chalice of Harmony, likely going for the Crucible, which will prevent someone from getting picked off by the Pantheon or Leona stuns, or possibly even the Varus ult for initiation. Looks like Master Yi has picked up a recurve bow. He might be going for a Static Shiv or the Zephyr. I'm really not sure at this point, as I've not seen many Master Yi's in the jungle. Most of them do go for the AP mid build, which is a rather fun and amusing build, but not particularly effective unless you get a lot of kills or assists. Brand has picked up the Torment, and Skarner has picked up the Runic Bulwark. Ezreal has almost completed his Trinity Force as he nicely just flashes out of there. Looks like he is going to try and go on Master Yi here, as Master Yi does not have a ton of damage, but Master Yi will be taken out, but at the cost of Ezreal. I'm not sure that's such a worthy trade. Looks like Skarner does go down here and pick up Pantheon, allowing Ezreal to just fight this Leona. And he does have a decent chance of surviving, as Brand lands a perfect combo and just in time with a Lulu ultimate. Great kiting by Ezreal, and that just goes to show what you can do when you're ahead. He kited them around just long enough for Lulu to get in there with the ultimate, Brand to land the stun, and Skarner to keep Pantheon at bay with that ultimate. That is a coordinated team, folks. And that just shows why they're winning by 6 towers and 9 kills at this point in time. That was incredibly impressive. Looks like Diana has completed her death cap, as they will tower dive down here. Brand taking a fair bit of damage, and the surrender vote does come out. Well played by the red team there. Their blast hitting and control of objectives was just far superior in this game. And while the blue team had several early advantages, they just couldn't snowball any one of them to a real lead. And let's see here at the in-game screen, we can see about how far they were ahead. But yeah, look at that. 2,000 gold lead for the supports. That's where you see the biggest difference from objectives. And this is considering Leona went for a gold per 10 item while Lulu did not. That is just a big lead. And even bigger leads on people like Diana with 5,000 gold lead on Malphite. Brand with another 2,000. And even Ezreal had a little over 2,000 lead on the Varus. But yeah, as I said during there, that just came down to superior objective control and last hitting. As you can see, all of these numbers are well higher than their counterparts on the other side. And it's even deceiving as they did pick up a lot of minions at the end of the game, closing the gap slightly. Thank you for watching Games Cast by PanderNyrl. If you wish to see more, follow my YouTube and Twitch pages below.